Hello everyone, this is T-Juggy and welcome back to part 6. I know it's been a while, so let's do a little recap of what we've already done. Right, remember in the other 5 parts, we had created a simple menu layout. If you click New Game, you could name your character, give yourself a player agenda, and if you have to type something in both fields to be able to create your character. In the load game, it shows your character name that you already typed in the new game and the gender you are. You can also load your character straight away and delete your character. In level select, we've got our 8 little level select buttons. Options, we've got audio options, the game volume, and we've got graphics options, which we haven't done anything in there at the moment. We've also got the quick game button. This tutorial is going to be mainly focused on, give it a directional light, going to be focused on graphics. And to do that, we're going to come up into our main menu script, and you notice before we did private float game volume 65.0f. See if I 150 that. Whoa. There we go. We did it 65. Well, actually, I was wrong on the other one. Unity defaults to a field of view of 60, so we'll just correct that one off straight away. Then we just create another one. We're going to call this public camera, and just the name for your camera, just game camera is what I'm going to use. This is so you can drag your camera in, so all the field of view changes you do work. Now we'll do start. We might as well use this area to load and do our load and save, similar to how we did the game volume in the first time. So what we're going to do is we're going to do if player prefs dot has key and we're just going to call this game FOV. Then game camera, that's what you called your camera, dot field of view is equal to player prefs dot get float, and we're going to call this key game FOV. So it's the same key as you've got as the has key. Now I've got that in. At the top here, above game volume, just do underscore game FOV is equal to player prefs dot get float game FOV, still keeping the same key, underscore game FOV. Now underneath the if block we just created, just do an else statement, and we're going to do player prefs dot set float game FOV underscore game FOV. Now with that done, we'll just save that off, and that's the saving and loading in this section done. And that was something I wasn't happy with actually, after looking at the old tutorials and what I did. And I just decrease that to 120. There we go. And that is, if we go back to Unity and click play, we've got options and audio options. We don't actually have a little counter here letting us know what actual volume is on. And if you noticed, I actually lowered my game volume height as well. So to lower my game volume height, where's my game volume? Do the audio options. There we go. What you see is I've got the game volume. It's screen dot width is at 115 from the top, and the horizontal slider starts at 150. Now what we are going to do is we're just going to edit this game volume, and we're going to do the screen dot width minus, in the length of it, minus 55. And that's easy enough done that way. And now all we need to do is create a GUI.label. It's a new rect. I'm going to do it screen.width -35, 145 from the top, 50 long because it doesn't need to be big, and 25 high. And then what we're going to do is we're just going to go empty. We're just going to do the plus symbol, and this is where we haven't done this before. So we need to open and close curly brackets, and we do need to put system.math.round, and just do underscore game volume, and then 2. The reason for this is a float is 0 point something, and if we're changing the value, it's going to change it by 0.562259. It's just going to carry on. And what this is just doing it to 2 decimal places. So if we go to Unity, well, I don't know if I saved it off, but I think I did. No, I didn't. Yeah, saved it off. Here we go to options, audio options, and if you noticed, it says 60 there for the game volume, and if I tweak it, it does nothing at the moment. Where did I go wrong? Oh, that's why. Yeah, if you come up with the same problem, just click main camera at the top. You'll notice you've got this new game camera in there. Just drag and drop the same camera onto it. It's still gone wrong. So let's have a look at what we've done. GUI label plus system.math.round. Need 2. Yeah, sorry about this, guys. Just wonder where I've gone wrong. Oh, it's game field of view underscore game volume. That's where I went wrong. Yeah, so you go, it goes 0.6, and you can see it's only going to the next 2 decimal places, up to 1. So we've got that sorted now, the way I like it. We work on the graphics options now. So what we're going to do is we can actually copy this one right here. And just call it game FOV. And we could actually probably copy both of these as well. However, this is going to be different. Change game to game FOV, and this to underscore game FOV, and we also want it from 0. No, we actually want it from 40.0f to that's the lowest field of view. So what's the highest we can do? It's entirely up to you, but I'm just going to go with 100. And this here is completely wrong at the moment. So we're just going to game. What we don't want to do is actually type as an int, cast it as an int, and it's called game FOV. What this will do I do believe I need to delete one of those. And what that'll do is, instead of casting it all as a float, so it states 60.0, and then when we change it, it goes 60.001, 2, 3, 4. It gets rid of all those unnecessary numbers at the end. So we save this off, and then we go into our graphics options. You notice we've got a game field of view, and it actually scales to a maximum 100, lowest to 40. Now, with that done, we also need to actually add another layer in there. So it's going to be game camera dot field of view is equal to underscore game field of view. Basically, so that sets the field of view of the actual camera to the field of view that's in the slider. Now we can actually test this, but we're going to test it later. But for now, what we're going to do is we're going to actually give the Unity graphics settings. I think there's 6 of them, going from basic to fantastic, I think it is. But to do this, we're just going to go GUI layout, sorry, all one word, dot begin vertical. And then underneath that, we're just going to do some GUI.label. It's a new rect. And I'm going to do it screen.width divided by 2 plus 10. So it's the same in line with this previous type we had. 200 from the top, I think. 200 wide, 25 high. We're just going to call this one quite simply graphics quality. Probably spelled that completely wrong, but you know. Now we're going to do a for loop. I've not done these before, but I'll explain as I go along. So we've got for int I. You can have it anything you want, but I'm going to do I is equal to 0. And then semicolon, then I is less than graph. I think it might be quality settings actually. Yeah, quality settings. Dot names. Dot length. I plus plus. Well, what that basically is a for loop will iterate through this as many times as it needs to. So the parameters in here match. Say I've got I is 0, and if I is less than the amount of quality settings, the quality names I have in the quality settings, it's going to keep adding 1 to I, and it's going to keep doing this until all of the quality settings are rendered so I will equal the amount of quality settings actually in there, and it's only 6, so it's fine. And what we're going to do is we're just going to do a button. So we need something for it to render to now. So we're going to do GUI.button is a new rect. We're going to do screen.width divided by 2 plus 30, so it's indented a little. From the height, we did that 200 down, the graphics quality from the top, so we're going to do is 235, why not? 235 plus I times by 35. 150 wide, 25 high. And we're going to do quality settings dot names. And then we're just going to put I in the brackets like this. And there we go. So what this button basically is, because it's completely different to a normal button we've done, is we're rendering a button, and this is the position on the screen we want it. So we want it screen.width, so it's the same position as our little box we've got here, but it's indented 30 from the left, so it's going right 30. Now this here is a starting position for it. So we've started it 35 pixels underneath the graphics quality. If you remember, it's 25 pixels anyway, so it's going to start 10 with a 10 gap between. And then we're going to plus I, so it's plus in the amount of I we've got. So it'll render each and every last quality setting we have that it's got with the for loop. And then we're putting it to we're times in 35, so it's times in 35 from the top. And that will leave us, because our buttons are 25 wide anyway, or long, it's going to leave a 10 pixel gap between each button because we put it at 35. And then what we're just saying is the name of all the buttons is the quality settings.names, and then we're going to iterate through them using I, which we got from the names.length in the for loop. Sounds a bit confusing, but it's quite simple in a way. Then we just want to do quality settings dot set quality level, and we're just going to do I and true. Because it wants to apply the changes by clicking the button. That's a true, and the I is the index of the button. So each button, because it's went through I, will each have its own index. So each of the buttons has a different index. That I there is getting all the different indexes, and this here is applying the index of the button you've just pushed for the representing the quality setting that you actually just clicked on. And then with that done, underneath the for loop, we'll do GUI layout again. Dot end vertical. There we go. We get rid of the whole vertical now. And now that's out of the way, we'll just add another apply button. So what we can do is we can go back up to the audio options here, copy this, paste it down here, change the parameters, so game field of view, and change the key so it says game FOV, and then save this all off. Now we can go and test it all out now. So if you load up Unity, if you have no errors, options, graphics options, you don't say you've actually got a list. Graphics quality list. I need a double dot after the quality. We've got a list. So we won't be able to tell by clicking all these what the buttons do. We need a visual representation. And the game field of view, well, we can change this, and you won't be able to see it at all because we still have no visual representation. So the best way to do this is if we unpause it, well, unplay it, and we go into this main camera and we just create a few objects in the scene. So if we click create game object, create other, we'll create a cube, we'll put it 0, 0, 0, make sure your camera's at 0, 0, 0 as well, and then what we can do is get this cube and drag it out. If you hold control, it drags by 1 each time. I'm going to put it out about that far. If I click game, you'll just see a block. That's alright, so I'll drag it a couple more. There we go. Now I'm going to change the scale of this, so I'll put 10 there, and 10 there. There we go, yeah. So if I click play, you'll see just a lovely box in front of you, I guess. Now to test this out even more, what we have got to do is create a game object, create over directional light. Let's put a directional light in the scene. And if you have directional light clicked, if you go in the inspector, you'll see the type of light. What we want to do is want to give it soft shadows. As I think from Unity version 4, soft shadows on directional lights you can actually have without having Unity Pro. So, and with that enabled, everything will create shadows now. So what I want to do is we're going to create another game object. Let's create another cube. Now it's placed in a level. I'm going to zero it out, and we just drag it on the back of the face and position it wherever you want. And click play. So as you can see, it's a bit of a poorly done cube. I'm going to tweak it a bit so you can see more. There you go. As you can see, we've got all this. And we'll click options, graphics options. Let's change the field of view. That's how the field of view changes now. And if we click fastest, no shadows, fast, simple, good, beautiful, fantastic. Now I'm going to put my field of view to 100, and then I'm just going to click apply. If we stop playing this and click play again, options, graphics options, you notice our field of view is stayed at 100. Now if we click audio options and turn our audio options up to 1, gain volume up to 1, click apply, and go back in, options, audio options, it's back to 1. Now if you don't like what you've done, you can always tweak it again. So options, graphics options, 60. There we go. As you can tell, it's relatively simple to put graphics options in. What we will need to do in the next tutorial is we're going to implement it, so when you click the change level, your graphics settings is saved, apart from just the field view, and the audio is carried over as well, so it loads the save when you've created a new scene. Hope you all enjoyed. I've been T-Junkie. Thank you very much for watching.